positions before 4 and 7. We're going to have a look at it now coming up. You see that he occupies the crease 30 more balls than the other batsman, so his dismissal rate, he gets dismissed every 50 balls compared to everyone in that batting order between 4 and 7 out 17. But also his average, obviously your average is going to be higher when you're batting out there for a lot longer. So who is going to replace him out the top of the order? That is the big question. They can't rely on their openers. Fakhar Zaman hasn't been doing that well. He's got a lift, he's the leader, he's played international cricket, so you need something from that superstar opening the batting to lead them along.
But one of the things that, of course, Qalandars need to be looking at is that, you know, the likes of Aqib Javed and what kind of role they can play in, because they struggled through seeing Mohammad Hafiz. That was a setback for them, and now they've got the likes of AB going as well. So surely the role of the management becomes even more important to keep morale high.
Yeah, that's where you know, their management comes to the fore. You know, they have to pick out a player and say, okay, AB is not there, you are the one, and you got the talent. You have to induce confidence in that person, and you have to derive a theory for that batsman to you know, how to go out there and deliver for the team. And I think it's going to be tested for sure. And I think Aqib has been with the team for a long time. So, you know, when you talk about Aqib, he knows the nip and tucks of Lahore Qalandar, so he should be able to do something good here. And I think he has to pick out somebody who has been playing throughout this SPL PSL, that okay, you've been playing the entire tournament, and what I've seen of you, that you have the ability, you have that intuitive grasp of the situation, you stay the team over the line. So I think that's where they really have to come to the fore.
I'm sure there were situations where when you were playing, or in fact even when you were playing, you know, one of your main players is suffering through an injury, he can't play through, and then, you know, you still need to keep your spirits up.
Well, you do, and you've got to define roles for each player, and each player goes out there and plays that specific role. I've been in teams where you look at them and at the start of the season, tournament, people are saying they're going to finish last, they don't have the talent there. But what we do in that particular group, when you look at the opposition team, you say, right, this is our strengths, this is our weaknesses, right, if you do your role in this particular team, we can come out trumps here, and that's the only way that you can go about it. Where they really struggle here, these guys, they've got Corey Anderson and David Visa in that middle order, 4 and 7, two all-rounders. The two match, and they don't have anyone who's specifically a batsman. If you look at Karachi Kings, I think it is, they have Ingram. I'm right in that team. Yeah. They have Ingram, they have Livingston, they have proper batters in their top order down to number 5. You have to have proper batters down to number 5. Corey Anderson is still an all-rounder for me. He's not a proper batsman, and he showed that the last game where he just got bamboozled by spin, just charging down the wicket to the left armer Umar Khan, who just went wider and wider and wider. To me, he was not a number 5 batsman. He's one of those batsmen who comes in out the end. So they really need to find someone who can stabilise the innings out.
I think the answer is easy, in my opinion. Fakhar Zaman has played a lot of international cricket, and he's captaining the side. He has to tell himself, okay, if AB is not there, I have to show the world that I am capable of delivering for my team. And if he does that here, he'll augur well for Pakistan. You know, he'll prove that, you know, he's learning as a batsman, he's learning as a captain, and he's got that ability to actually take the team over the line and help the team to get a good total. He's got the ability, but, you know, haven't shown that he could actually be relied on to win a game for you. Yes, Champions Trophy final was different, but after that, we haven't seen him actually winning the game single-handedly for any side he has played.
We've seen the occasional performance from, you know, Fakhar Zaman. He has that ability to win that match against Australia as well, in that T20 series between Zimbabwe and Australia. So, I mean, he has that ability, but really it comes down to being more consistent.
It's definitely consistent. If you're opening the batting for your team, your country, you're in a position that you've got to be consistent. You've got to have consistent performances on the board. You know, you look at Australia, someone like Glenn Maxwell. Well, he comes out and be an explosive player. If you've got batsmen around him that are consistent, but he comes in and polishes it off, you can afford a little bit of inconsistency in that one particular position, but you can't have it all the way down the order. So for me, Fakhar Zaman has got to stand up, he's got to man up and show Pakistan cricket that he is one that's relied on. And what better for him to learn? You're under pressure here. Your team could be getting kicked out here if you don't win today. So you've got to make sure that you perform well.
So, one thing I want to add, you know, when you talk about Lahore Qalandar, I think if AB de Villiers is not there, you know, the onus should be taken by the bowlers. Okay, he's not there. We'll make sure that we'll get the opposition out in these conditions for 150, make it easier for the batsmen. So I think today's game, Fakhar Zaman's batting is very important. Captaincy is going to be very important. And how they use Yasir Shah. I tell you, last night we saw the ball spinning mile for the leg spinner and it was bouncing, jumping. And whenever there is a bounce and also the turn, that bounce accentuates the turn and makes it very difficult for the batsman. So I think that's where the bowlers have to take the honors and say, let's make it easier for the batsman.
It's an interesting point that you make, because there's that option of playing Hassan Khan as well, and I'll come back to that, but we know that Qalandars really need those points first. So let's have a look at how the teams are faring and where each team stands. So we've got Quetta Gladiators, they have qualified, they've got 12 points. Zalmi with 10, Qalandars with 6, and of course they'll be on 8 points if they win today. Multan Sultans is out, but it's a great mix of, you know, competition, so to speak, between Islamabad United, Karachi Kings, as well as Qalandars Hoggy. When you look at that table, there's still so many teams that can be up for that 4th spot for the playoffs.
Oh, definitely. And that's the great thing about this competition. Pity Multan didn't win last night, but they deserve to be where they are. They just haven't performed, they haven't been led well, and they haven't made the right decisions. But this is pressure cricket. And what you want in these T20 tournaments for your future Pakistan players that have got the potential to move forward is to play in pressure competitions. So these games are apt for grabs right now. Virtually, you've got your 3 games out, Lahore Qalandars. They've still got 3 games. Each game is a final for them. And that's what you want for your fast bowlers as well. Your upcoming fast bowlers. You've got Ralph. You've got Shaheem Afridi. These guys are going to be put under pressure. How do you handle the pressure? Because this is just about as big as it gets in preparation for a World Cup. You can't get any bigger than that.
And also, you know, if you see Peshawar Zalmi's bowlers' performance in the last 2 games, fast bowlers been off the boil. And that's a good news for Lahore Qalandars batsmen. They could come out with a bit of confidence and say, okay, if we are able to take on Hassan Ali with the new ball, that will bring a lot of pressure on the other bowlers. So I think this is a good thing in favour of Lahore Qalandar at the moment.
Well, definitely, for sure. You know, they'll be looking to secure a win today. It's time to take a short break. But before that, we leave you with the beautiful shots of Rubal Khali. It's a piece of unbroken sand. And if you're ever looking for those shots in the desert in the best possible manner, this is the place to go.
आज हम जानेंगे कि यूथ को एक बैंक अकाउंट से क्या चाहिए।
मुझे चाहिए फ्री इंटरनेट बैंकिंग, एक्सीडेंटल इंश्योरेंस होनी चाहिए,
बस कैश ना कैरी करना पड़े।
फिलहाल तो इंटर्नशिप चाहिए, किसी को भी पे करना आसान हो।
मुझे चाहिए फ्री डील्स, हर वक्त।
Allied Bank लाया Allied Youth Account जिससे मिले Ouch 365 deals, free accidental insurance, free My ABL internet banking, Visa debit card, corporate internship opportunity, pay anyone funds transfer facility और भी बहुत कुछ।
Allied Youth Account, youth के दिल की आवाज।
हो जाए मुकाबला।
एक को धोएंगे आपके पाउडर से, दूसरे को नए एरियल से। नया एरियल डबल एक्शन फॉर्मूला के साथ, जिसके ज्यादा हरे जर्रात सख्त दाग बेहतर निकाले सिर्फ एक धुलाई में।
किधर? जैज वीकली मेगा प्लस ऑफर लगाओ और फ्री जैज टीवी पर लाइव क्रिकेट के मजे उड़ाओ।
दुनिया को बता दो, जुबली इंश्योरेंस आपको लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के साथ दे कैशलेस हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन, फैमिली कवर, मुल्क भर के 400 से ज्यादा अस्पतालों में। इसके अलावा बहुत सारी सहूलियात। विजिट करें हमारी वेबसाइट, क्योंकि आपका ख्याल रखना हमारी जिम्मेदारी है। इसीलिए जब आप लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कराते हैं तो हम इसे निभाते हैं। बेफिक्र मुस्तकबिल के लिए सिर्फ जुबली इंश्योरेंस। जैज सुपर 4G ने एक बार फिर जीता टूटला पे तेज तरीन स्पीड का अवार्ड और हासिल किया 5.5 करोड़ लोगों का भरोसा। कहा था ना, छोटे जितने भी आ जाएं, बड़ा बड़ा ही होता है। दुनिया को बता दो। तो फिर चलती रहे तुम, मैं और एक कप चाय, टपाल दानेदार।
इसकी मिल्की, ना उसकी मिल्की, अब किसकी होगी मिल्की? मिल्कीज़, फेवरेट सबकी। मैंने हर काम की तरह बिजनेस को भी आसान बना दिया है एलाइड बिजनेस अकाउंट के साथ।
फ्री ऑनलाइन कैश डिपॉजिट, फ्री ऑनलाइन फंड्स ट्रांसफर, फ्री पे ऑर्डर और डिमांड ड्राफ्ट,
ना ही मिनिमम बैलेंस की शर्त और ना ही किसी कटौती का डर। एलाइड बिजनेस अकाउंट से मुझे मिलता है वो सब कुछ जो मेरे बिजनेस को चाहिए।
एलाइड बैंक, आपके दिल में हमारा अकाउंट।
अभी तक पढ़ रहे हो?
जी दादी।
कुछ खा लो।
ऑल नाइटर मारने वालों का प्लीज, लाइफ नीड्स फ्लेवर। सेफगार्ड से बड़े बात, 10 रुपए की बड़ी बचत। अब नॉन स्टॉप प्रोटेक्शन, नॉन स्टॉप बचत के साथ सेफगार्ड फैमिली बार पर 10 रुपए की बड़ी बचत। माउंटेन ड्यू, डर के आगे जीत है।
The Sheikh Zayed Mosque, one of the visual beauties of the world, and it is perhaps, known for its architecture as well. A lot of it is actually inspired by that Badshahi Mosque in Lahore. Lots of pieces from there and inspiration from Italian elements as well. So, you talk about the beautiful, picturesque mosques of the world. You've got Badshahi Mosque and then Sheikh Zayed Mosque as well. Amir, have you been there?
Yes, been there once. It's beautiful.
It's
just, the ambience is such that, you just go there and for a little while you actually get lost, in your thoughts that how beautiful this is. And, saying prayer over there is actually...
And it's one of those things that you look at and you think that you wouldn't think about how much effort that goes into making these kind of landmarks. But of course, you've got Badshahi Mosque in Lahore, like I said, and Sheikh Zayed Mosque here as well. All right, we're ready with an interview. Ryan Tenduskare spoke to Alan Wilkins.
Okay, familiarity lesson first. Ryan Tenduskare, here he is. He's back with the Calendars. Now, a lot of people think that he's born in Holland because he's played for the Netherlands, has done and will do in the future. But Ryan, that's not the case, is it?
No, I'm pretty much South African, born in Port Elizabeth and sort of an adopted Dutch. I got a Dutch father, so on that basis I got a chance to play for the Netherlands from about 2007.
So no ambitions early to play for the Proteas, South Africa. It was always Netherlands?
No, the ambitions were there to play, any sport, cricket or rugby for South Africa. But I think realisation set in probably, when you leave school and you got a plan for the future. And the Dutch stuff sort of unfolded by itself more than, really chasing it.
And you're back in the fold now with the Netherlands after a gap.
Yeah, I had a 6-year break. I've just joined up with them again last year. They've got some exciting stuff ahead. Obviously, the World Cup qualifiers for the T20 at the end of this year. So it's great to be back. And they've changed a lot as well, to be fair to them. I think associate cricket in general has changed a lot, but particularly the Netherlands have become a lot more professional. It's been very enjoyable.
Now, one of the great
upsets, but he probably wouldn't say this, is when Lords 2009, a wet, rainy day, and that was one of the great days when the Netherlands beat England, and I was there watching that. Tell us how that felt.
It was amazing. I think, you know, for the first time, Ireland had done things at the 2007 World Cup, but certainly the way things were stacked against us, and also the manner in which we won, you know, scrambling through the last year, brought over. It was just a great day for Dutch cricket, and, you know, without being negative, I really thought that was a point they could have kicked on from and really grown the game, but it hasn't been as such, and if one good things come out of it, I think those upsets have become slightly more regular now.
Well, that was in the opening game of the ICC World 2020. Let's bring it back home now. Colunders, this is huge for you today. This is almost like a must-win game for the Colunders.
Yeah, in the context of the competition, it's a very important game, obviously, with Karachi winning last night. You know, we just missed out the other night, the game before against Karachi, but we're in good shape, and we understand the importance of this game, and our plans and everything are set, so hopefully we can pull it off tonight.
And finally, it's a big blow not having AB. I always think that's an opportunity for someone like yourself, or even, you know, anyone else in the team, to step up, fill the void.
Yeah, it's look, you can't look past it. He's a fantastic player, and probably if you look at the team sheet, you'd say that's your match winner. But like you say, we've got a lot of good other batters particularly, and it's time for someone else to get the runs that he would have got.
Lovely, thanks Ryan. Ryan Tenduscarter, they call him Tendo because he's a T20 specialist. Does that make sense?
Cheers.
Right, that's correct. It's been quite a journey for him when you see in terms of what he has achieved so far, and the amount of T20 he's played and done well in that format. All right, time for a short break, and on the other side, we'll speak to some of our boys on the ground.
हो जाए मुकाबला, एक को धोएंगे आपके पाउडर से, दूसरे को नए एरियल से। नया एरियल डबल एक्शन फॉर्मूला के साथ, जिससे ज्यादा हरे जर्रात सख्त दाग बेहतर निकाले, सिर्फ एक धुलाई में।
एलाइड एक्सप्रेस घर वालों को पहुंचाए पूरी रकम। एलाइड एक्सप्रेस दुनिया भर से पाकिस्तान में एलाइड बैंक की किसी भी ब्रांच से फौरी नकद रकम वसूल करें, वो भी बिना किसी कटौती के। एलाइड एक्सप्रेस, अपने प्यारों को भेजें पूरी रकम और पूरा खुलूस। एलाइड बैंक, आपके दिल में हमारा अकाउंट। आपको लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के साथ दे पैसों की बर वक्त अदायगी, सिंपल पॉलिसी मैनेजमेंट और इसके अलावा बहुत सारी सहूलियात। विजिट करें हमारी वेबसाइट, क्योंकि आपका ख्याल रखना हमारी जिम्मेदारी है। इसीलिए जब आप लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कराते हैं तो हम इसे निभाते हैं। बेफिक्र मुस्तकबिल के लिए सिर्फ जुबली इंश्योरेंस। सेफगार्ड से बड़े बात, 10 रुपए की बड़ी बचत। अब नॉन स्टॉप प्रोटेक्शन, नॉन स्टॉप बचत के साथ सेफगार्ड फैमिली बार पर 10 रुपए की बड़ी बचत।
ट्विस्टो की पुकार मुझे खींचे बार-बार।
ट्विस्टो के स्ट्रॉबेरी फ्लेवर से मिले मस्ती को नया ट्विस्ट। अब बहुत से मजेदार फ्लेवर भी।
ट्विस्टो
कपड़ों को दीजिए पावर वॉश, कपड़े के रेशों तक जाए, दाग हटाए और कपड़े के रंग को रौनक रखे बरकरार। गाय पावर वॉश।
मचा दे धूम।
बेवक्त स्नैकर्स का फेवरेट लेज, लाइफ नीड्स फ्लेवर। कैरेमल के अंदर भरा चॉकलेट जब मुंह में पिघलेगा गिगल तो निकलेगा। गिगली एक्लेयर्स, चॉकलेट पिघलेगा गिगल निकलेगा। एलाइड सीनियर सिटीजन अकाउंट, इसमें है घर बैठे अकाउंट खोलने की सहूलत,
हेल्थ और एक्सीडेंटल इंश्योरेंस भी।
हाँ, और डिस्काउंटेड लैब सर्विसेज के साथ बेशुमार मुफ्त सहूलियात। एलाइड सीनियर सिटीजन अकाउंट, मेरा एतबार एलाइड बैंक, आपके दिल में हमारा अकाउंट।
इसकी मिल्की, ना उसकी मिल्की, अब किसकी होगी मिल्की? मिल्कीज है फेवरेट सबकी।
किधर? जैज़ वीकली मेगा प्लस ऑफर लगाओ और फ्री जैज़ टीवी पर क्रिकेट की मजे उड़ाओ
दुनिया को बता दो.
Well, we've been talking about how the tournament has fared and Multan Sultans, how they're out of the tournament. But it's still pretty much wide open in terms of which teams can actually qualify for the playoffs. We've got Wilco with Jonty Rhodes at the ground for us. Wilco, we've been having this discussion over here. It's Hoggy and Amir with me as well. You look at the table and you've got quite our gladiators right at the top. Zalmi is doing well as well. Do you think that they are sort of the dominant teams so far in the HPL PSL?
I couldn't quite hear that, Jonty.
No, I just think with regards to Zalmi, they've relied heavily on a couple of players, especially from a batting point of view. And I think from an all-round perspective, you know, you've got to be careful. The top order hasn't yet been very consistent for Zalmi. They did fire in the previous game. We saw Kamran Akmal get them off to a good start. And we know with their big hitters in the lower middle order, they are a very dangerous side. And they can take wickets. So Zalmi, I think, have got themselves to the top because of a consistent middle order. But now they need to make sure that there's not pressure on one or two players.
Yeah, and you can say that it's been Kyron Pollard with his big hitting at the 52 not out from Liam Dawson, which got them over the line against Islamabad. But Jonty's right, you've got Wahab Riaz, you've got Hassan Ali, and you've got Liam Dawson with his spin. But Kamran Akmal, thank goodness he's got some runs, because he had got 3 noughts and he was looking, I think without that score that he got the other day, they really would have struggled. And I still think they struggle top end, but their bowling is keeping them very much intact.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some great fielding in the tournament as well, Joe. I'm going to come to you for that. I mean, which team do you think has looked the sharpest in the field?
Oh, fielding. Well, that's Jonty's speciality. Jonty, fielding, it's high standard, isn't it? So where would you say, which team for you is the best fielding side?
Well, it is quite difficult because, you know, you kind of watch game after game after game. And yesterday, the vibe in the field here was a little bit slow. So from a results point of view, you know, the guys who are at the top of the table, they're at the top of the table for a reason, because they have got good fielding outfits. So I think people like Zalmi here already have, you know, they let themselves down on the field yesterday. But there's no one team that stands out. I think on the day you'll find that the team that are playing well in the field, supporting and backing up the bowlers, those are the teams that are coming out on top.
And I want to add another point there. The surface here, it's like a billiard table here. It really is very flat, and it's not nearly as sandy underfoot here as it is in Dubai. Now, we saw a lot of incidents in Dubai. A.B. de Villiers was one, Huddersfield was another, where they went into the turf and there were some nasty injuries, and it's not like that here, Jonty.
No, the outfield is good. The only problem with quite a thick layer of grass, though, the ball does gather bounce. So it doesn't kind of hit the surface and stick to the surface. A couple of guys who've gone full length to dive, put an arm out, the ball has bobbled over. They've done all the hard work. And unfortunately, the ball has got to the boundary.
You know, you've spoken about the outfield, but what about the Abu Dhabi wicket? I mean, is it playing up differently in the morning, the day game, as well as the night? Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think having a look at the wicket yesterday, obviously it's going to be a fresh strip again today, but it was a very new wicket, or a very fresh strip yesterday. There is quite a big covering of grass, but it's burnt dry. I mean, it really is dry. What it does, though, it holds the cracks, because you'll see a few cracks down. If you come from overhead and you kind of zoom down the wicket, you'll see a few of the cracks, but that grass is holding it together. So in the day game, there is a bit of carry, but because of the grass, it's a slow carry.
Yeah.
We did see in the evening, though, Wilco, a couple of uneven bounces.
Yeah, a couple kept alarmingly low, but I thought Quetta Gladiators did their homework yesterday with their spinners, Mohammad Nawaz and Fawad Ahmed. I mean, he's bowling beautifully, his leg spin, and I thought they just trumped Zalmi yesterday with that selection, 2 spinners, and Zalmi only had the one. I think you've got to go in on this pitch, and it's 2 pitches down from where we were yesterday, but I think you've got to have 2 spinners for the reason that Jonty's saying, especially in the second match, the occasional ball is keeping alarmingly low. Do you remember Liam Livingston ended up on his knees last night for Karachi? So I think a couple of spinners in there, it cannot be an all-seam attack.
Jonty, just with you, Tendaskada coming into Lahore Kalandars. Do you think that middle order's too full of all-rounders with Visa and Anderson there as well? Do you think they should have gone for another specialist batsman there?
Yeah, I think losing AB de Villiers as they have, it really is tough. And T20 cricket, obviously, you are looking for all-round performances, but you do need your specialists. So I would have to agree with you from a specialist batting point of view. But I think from the outset, they've always looked a little bit light on the batting lineup side. So not having an AB de Villiers, there definitely was a call possibly to go with an out-and-out top-order batsman or middle-order batsman.
Good point, though, Augie, because, you know, you talk about all-round capabilities in a side. Ryan Tenduscarter is one of the best, one of the proven cricketers in 2020 cricket. So he'll add another dimension here, and if he gets going with the right attitude with the bat, he could be a force for the Qalandars.
I'll tell you what, your hair is looking quite a force over here as well, Wilco. It's not moving at all, even in this wind that we've got here. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. You know, important point over there, Amir, that he's speaking about Quetta Gladiators and how they've used their spinners. Do you think that's kind of put them, because we're talking about why they've been so dominant?
See, the reason why the spinners are dominant in Quetta's lineup, they know how to go about the job. You know, you don't have to actually tell them how to go about things in a difficult situation or different conditions. They know, they are well equipped and they are well adept to actually gauge the conditions and ball accordingly, and according to the batsman as well, his thinking as well. So that's where they've been making difference.
I mean, it's been a case of you know, them utilizing the conditions well and executing their plans. But we will be talking more about that, but only after the short break.
आज हम जानेंगे कि यूथ कोड बैंक अकाउंट से क्या चाहिए।
मुझे चाहिए फ्री इंटरनेट बैंकिंग, एक्सीडेंटल इंश्योरेंस होनी चाहिए,
बस कैश ना कैरी करना पड़े।
फिलहाल तो इंटर्नशिप चाहिए, किसी को भी पे करना आसान हो।
मुझे चाहिए फ्री डील्स हर वक्त।
Allied Bank लाया Allied Youth Account, जिससे मिले Vouch 365 deals, free accidental insurance, free My ABL internet banking, Visa debit card, corporate internship opportunity, pay anyone funds transfer facility, और भी बहुत कुछ।
Allied Youth Account, यूथ के दिल की आवाज।
तमाम व्यूअर्स के लिए क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे? जैज सुपर 4G, जिसको 5.5 करोड़ कस्टमर्स ने बनाया पाकिस्तान का सबसे बड़ा और फास्टेस्ट मोबाइल नेटवर्क।
दुनिया को बता दो।
माउंटेन ड्यू, डर के आगे जीत है।
ट्विस्टों की पुकार मुझे खींचे बार-बार।
ट्विस्टों के ऑरेंज फ्लेवर से मिले मस्ती को नया ट्विस्ट, अब बहुत से मजेदार फ्लेवर्स में भी।
ट्विस्टो।
What a shot! जी बिल्कुल, अब आप रहे 100% खुशी से बाहर। 210 रुपए में नहीं, बल्कि सिर्फ 199 रुपए में। Head and Shoulders। तो फिर चलती रहे तुम, मैं और एक कप चाय, टपाल दानेदार। सेफगार्ड से बड़े बात 10 रुपए की बड़ी बचत। अब नॉन स्टॉप प्रोटेक्शन, नॉन स्टॉप बचत के साथ सेफगार्ड फैमिली बार पर 10 रुपए की बड़ी बचत।
Well, Karachi Kings winning yesterday has put things quite in an interesting situation with Qalandars. Of course, will be looking to win today. Shaheen Shah has been resting. He's got been struggling with a bit of a niggle. Yasir Shah, spoken lots about him and the kind of pace he needs to be bowling at. Kamran Akmal, a lot of talk on him not really firing in this tournament, but he did well in the previous game, which augurs really well for them, because when you look at a side like Peshawar Zalmi, they have kind of been reliant on Kamran Akmal to take them through. Let's have a look at the fixtures of both the teams, of what matches they have left in the tournament so far. So you've got Qalandars as well as Peshawar Zalmi, if that rolls up. Yeah, you've got Lahore Qalandars, and of course they're playing in Abu Dhabi, but then the next two games, as you know, will be played in Karachi, Pakistan on the 9th of March as well as 11th of March. So please do grab your tickets and watch Qalandars in action. Unfortunately, we won't have any games in Lahore, but you can see them in Karachi. And then you've got Peshawar Zalmi. They're playing today, and then their next game is also in Karachi on the 11th of March. Right, so we've spoken about how Quetta Gladiators have sort of relied on their spinners. They've done so well for them, but most of the spinners in this tournament, the likes of Lamechane as well as Fawad Ahmed and so many others have done well. Let's have a look at some of the key stats of today.
Stats Pack, brought to you by Tak Baidu.
Right, so when you talk about spinners, the likes of Lamechane, Hoggy, I mean, he's been exceptional for Lahore Qalandars.
He has been awesome. People just can't pick them. He knows that opposition teams have got to realise that he's going for the wrong and 50% of the time. So play for the wrong and